Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm Ann Bennett and we are cooking up history at the Laurel Historical Society in Maryland and celebrating St. Patrick's Day by taking a look at traditional Irish soda bread. My favorite recipe comes from the Kylemore Abbey cookbook, specifically Sister Dymphna's raisin soda bread.
So you can see that the ingredient list is not very long and it includes many basic ingredients like flour, salt, baking soda, and sour milk, or what we would use as buttermilk here in America. It comes together very quickly in a single bowl, and you don't have to knead it for very long to incorporate all of the ingredients. You turn it out on a floured board, as it said, and shape it into a round circle. And then traditionally, you would put a cross on the top to help it vent as it bakes. You bake it in a pretty hot oven for really not that long, only about 45 minutes or so. It does make a big loaf, so sometimes when I make this recipe, I split it into two smaller loaves and it bakes a little easier that way. But you can test the bottom, like it says, by tapping it, and if it sounds hollow, it's cooked. And enjoy this with lots of Irish butter and some strong Irish tea or an Irish coffee.
But you can see that this recipe also calls for sugar and raisins. And this is where we start to deviate from traditional Irish soda bread recipes. Anytime you see butter, eggs, sugar, raisins in a soda bread recipe, you're getting a much more modern interpretation of the traditional recipe and a much more Americanized version as well. So anytime you see those things, especially raisins included, you're looking at really what is an Irish American recipe versus a traditional Irish recipe that has been baked there for centuries. And if you're new to baking, this is a good recipe to start with because you don't have to fool with yeast. There is no proofing, they're blossoming, there's no waiting around for hours for the bread to rise. So it's very easy. It's a lot of just mixing. It's very simple ingredients. You really can't mess up a soda bread recipe. So it's very attractive for bakers. So if you're new to baking or you want to try a bread recipe, this is what I would recommend. So how does the bread bake then if there's no yeast? And like I said earlier, traditional recipes really don't have eggs in them. So where does the leavening come from? The clue is right in the name of the recipe, Irish soda bread. It comes from baking soda. And baking soda is a chemical leavener like baking powder. But the difference between the two is that baking soda needs an acid to activate. And if you ever get mixed up between the two, just remember that A at the end of baking soda, acid to activate. And so the baking soda in the soda bread recipe is reacting with the buttermilk or the sour milk in the recipe, causing a chemical reaction, and that's what causes the bread to rise a little bit and become a little less dense. It's still a dense bread, but that's where we get kind of the moisture and the leavening and the lightness coming from. So I hope you like this bite into history, and I hope you will join us next time as we cook up some history at the Laurel Historical Society. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments below if you take a stab at making this Irish soda bread recipe, or share your favorite recipe with us down in the comments below.